Hi everybody, this is Angie from Tourangie.com, and yes, I'm in Oakvale. I just set up my camera here at the Oakvale school and we're going towards Kellysville. Kellysville has one thing. Of course, there's some houses, but there's only one thing that I'm aware of in Kellysville, and that is a church. Now, if you thought Oakvale was small, which I'm driving through Oakvale right now, Kellysville is smaller. In fact, I really don't have history of Kellysville. I don't even know why it was named Kellysville. But what I do have is a lot of interesting information from the area. One of the little towns or settlements, I guess is what you would say, was called Willowton. And there is a Willowton Road that cuts off to the right here in the Kellysville area. And it's not featured in this video, but one day I will go up the Willowton Road. But we're going to talk about Willowton and a few other settlements. Maybe New Zion, Meadows. There's tons of little settlements from back in the day in this section of the county. Of course, this section of the county was where the first settlers came into. As people in Virginia started moving west, this is the the eastern part of Mercer County. So this was where the first settlements took place. And the first settler was Adam Meadows. And he owned several hundred acres of land extending along the East River, which the East River is just over on the other side of this guardrail, or this hill right here. You can see a glimpse of it right there. And the East River Mountain is basically right beside me, going, really tall, high up. So he owned, like I said, several hundred acres extending from the East River beginning at Hell's Gap and almost to Oakvale. So, and all the way to the top of the mountain. Adam Meadows built the first grist mill in this part of the county. The stone burrows were chiseled from stone found where Mildred Thomas lived, and the mill was built on the banks of the East River. Adam's wife took care of the farm and helped out with the mill. They had a large flock of chickens at the mill and the farm, and his brother Jerry Meadows owned the land around Christian Ridge area near the New Zion Church. Now, I'm mentioning these areas. If a few videos ago, we talked about Elgood. There's a road there that takes you to Christian Ridge, and New Zion is nearby. All these little communities, by the way of the bird flying, are like no distance between them, but you have to cross over these mountains, as you can tell by especially the Elgood videos I made. So, but it's still very, very close by to this Oakvale, Kellysville area. So, at the time of the first settlements, the Shawnee Indians had beaten the trail regularly and traveled over and across East River Mountain and East River. They had camps set up nearby, and that trail that the Indians used was almost parallel to the Virginia electrical line, with only a few hundred yards to the south of the Meadows farm. And basically that electrical line, it's not the electrical line you see right here, right on the side of the road. This is running from, the south to the north. So it goes over East River Mountain, here through the Kellysville area, then over to Christian's Ridge, and then on into the flat top mountains of northern Mercer County. The last Shawnee Indian settlement that they have account of in this area was near Parisburg, Virginia. And if you're familiar with this area, you know that Parisburg is only like 15 minutes away. At the end of this video, we end up on Route 460. And basically, I'm driving Route 460 towards the Virginia state line. And there's just 3 little towns on the way to Parisburg. Now you can see right here I've had to stop, but here is the Church of God, the Kellysville Church of God. They're doing some road work here, so I'm waiting on this sign to turn green, so I'm going to, there we go. I had to edit some of that video out. I sat there for like 3 or 4 minutes. But we'll continue on talking about the Shawnee Indians now. So back, of course, years ago when the Shawnees were in the area, they captured 2 men from what is now West Virginia, and these men escaped after about 2 years of captivity. While being in captivity, of course, they learned a lot about the Shawnees. They told everybody about where their camp was set up, which was basically destroyed because of this. But they also talked about the Shawnee and their guns. The Shawnee Indians had traded with many traders in the past and had guns. And they were getting their lead from a cave somewhere near here. So they talked about it being a 3 to 4 hour walk from Pearisburg and in this general direction. So I could imagine walking from Pearisburg around in the curves of the mountain and different things, that this could take 3 or 4 hours to walk to where we're at in Kellysville. It makes perfect sense to me. But anyway, that is where they, got their lead from. Now, to this day, this mine has not been found. Maybe it has been found and nobody has mentioned, or didn't realize that it has some historical evidence with the Shawnee Indians getting the lead from there. But no one has ever claimed that they found the mine. So that's some pretty interesting little information. Now, of course, think back in the day, this area was complete wilderness. It looks totally different now with the roads and everything. So there was tons of wild game in the area. Wild cats, wild turkeys, deer, wolves, bear. There was talk, even the fishing. Of course, there was river right here, the East River. It flows into the new river at Glen Lynn, which will be in another video. It's just down the road from here. And there was tons of fishing in the East River because of where it was close to the new river. There was a lot of fish in the East River then. Now that's not the case. There's not a lot of fish in the East River, but back then there was. There was said that in the Willetton area there was a pond where the water stood, and there was always a thick skim of hair that could be seen on the pond, and it was called a bear wallow. I can't believe that. It's so funny. A bear wallow. But it has been said that Jerry Meadows, the brother of the first settler, he had killed 49 bears in this area in 1 year. Can you imagine that? Well, this was the end of the Kellysville video, and as you can tell, I have jumped on 460 and heading towards Glen Lynn. I will have a Glen Lynn video up shortly. There's going to be 2 Glen Lynn videos because this one I do is just on 460, and we'll talk about the plant and some of the residential areas as I drive by. There will be a second video that will take you to Elgood. So it's like a complete circle that I will have done. But it will come out in a couple months. But this is Angie from Tourangie.com. I hope you've enjoyed these videos and taken these tours with me through Southwest Virginia, primarily Mercer County, but still Southwest Virginia. I will be doing a video on Narrows here in the next few days also. Talk to you all later.